Welcome to Hopkins High School. A beautiful night for baseball and the Section 6 4A final round as the St. Louis Park Orioles, fresh off a 2-1 win over Hopkins, taking on the defending champions, the Wayzata Trojans. Wayzata needs one win, so they could wrap it up tonight. If St. Louis Park wins this one, that would force a second game for the title on Friday evening. MJ Wilcox along with Drew Keogh, and St. Louis Park trying to keep the ball rolling here, Drew. They come up with an exciting win against Hopkins, and they get it done, and now they turn around, bounce back to play again, and here's their lineup as well.
Yeah, they're feeling comfortable. They're having fun. They've been excited to be in this sectional playoffs here, and coming in after that win against Hopkins, a close win against the home team here, and here they are taking on Wayzata with a chance to force a decisive game later this week.
Johnny Sorenson getting set to lead it off here for St. Louis Park, as he will step in, and he'll be the starting pitcher tonight for the Orioles as well. So look at the defense for Wayzata. Josh Gullickson, Keegan Nickel, Carter Tibbetts, and Nick Kay around the infield, Castle, Engdahl, and Dahl in the outfield, Tom Groshala catching, and Sam Westermeyer gets the start on the mound for Wayzata, and Sorenson lines the first pitch into left field for a base hit. So that did not take long. Sorenson delivering a single to start it out there, Drew, and great start for St. Louis Park. And there's always that feeling, you know, obviously you'd like to be the team with 0 losses coming in, but Park, there's something to be said for momentum too.
Yeah, definitely for St. Louis Park. They came in as the underdog and they defeated Hopkins earlier, and I heard a couple Wayzata fans saying, you know, the St. Louis Park team, they're a little feisty team, and you got to be aware with when they're up at the plate because they're going to be aggressive.
Westermeyer hasn't pitched as much as a couple of the top guys, and Wayzata, you know, kind of eyeing that there could be a Friday game that they'd want to have those guys ready for too. Westermeyer's only pitched 9 innings, 0-0 record, 1 save this year. This is his 5th appearance on the mound. Taken for a strike there by Riley Dvorak. Westermeyer has walked just 1 and fanned 11 in those 9 innings of work, allowing 5 base hits. Going to turn and toss to first here.
Yeah, pitching becomes such a key part of the game, and when you get this part of the sections, you know, there's a little strategy. You know, you want to throw out your best pitcher whenever you can, but you also want to have some strategy. So, you know, if you have this game tight later on, you have an option to go to a 1 or 2, or you know, if the St. Louis Park jumps out to an early lead, you can kind of plan for later in the week. But you know, obviously they expect a good outing from Westermeyer here.
Sorensen bluffs going, pitch taken for a ball by Dvorak. Yeah, certainly the team with 0 losses is kind of in the driver's seat in terms of having the amount of pitching that you'd want available. As you get a look at Sam, and has been missed part of the year with injury, but guy they definitely feel like they can count on. They're, you know, probably not looking at a complete game very likely from him because he hasn't pitched that much, but they'd like to, you know, ideally get 5 good innings out of him, say, or whatever. And here's another well-hit ball, and that one is into left field for a base hit. Dvorak delivering a single. They throw behind Sorensen at second, but the ball's dropped. So it'll be first and second, nobody out here for Park.
Great start for the Orioles here. 2 solid balls into left center field. Got the first 2 batters on. Now they got a chance to see what they can do here if they want to move the runners around or go for a big inning. And for Westermeyer, you just want to continue throwing strikes and don't give up free passes. But you know, this is what we talked about. You want to go, you put him out there and you see what happens. And he might have a short leash, but you know, if he can get out of this inning and give Wayzata 2-3 solid innings, it puts him in a really good position. But here he's in a little bit of a jam early on.
Pekarek stepping up here, the left fielder for the Orioles.
Go, Shane, get yours here.
Nice resurgence of Orioles baseball here too. As you know, Coach Kelly was telling us his second time in the section final in 3 years, and you know, there were quite a few of those years where the chances were pretty good. They were not going to be in the section final in this section, but they've bounced back nicely and put some good teams out there. And
yeah, it starts in the youth leagues. You know, they had a stretch where most of their sports weren't having much success, but you know, you develop them in the youth leagues and they start to carry that on throughout the middle school and eventually bring it into the high school level.
Ooh, and a nasty breaking ball there from Westermeyer, and he strikes Pekarik out. Good confidence builder for Sam there as he gets that first out on a nasty pitch, and Brent Ryan will be the hitter now for St. Louis Park.
Yeah, huge out for Westermeyer there to come back and get that strikeout after giving up those first two batters, getting on with singles. Come back with a strikeout here is a big out.
Fastball misses there. Ryan on base once against Hopkins in the game that just concluded before this one. There's a strike.
Yeah, I got here late in that game, but it was 2-0 St. Louis Park in the 6th, and Hopkins came back with one in the bottom of the 6th. Had a chance to tie it up, but St. Louis Park was able to get out of the jam and came out of that game with a 2-1 victory. So.
Fouls this one out of play. And one nice thing about, with this turf field, when you've got a doubleheader like this, you don't have to drag the field between games. There isn't re-chalking. There isn't, watering the infield down. It kind of helps to keep the evening moving a little bit more, that's for sure. And a called third strike on a breaking ball. Seemed like a little bit of a late call, and Ryan didn't agree there as he thought it was up high, but 2 outs, and Listiak will be the hitter.
Yeah, definitely not a pitch that you want to be able to, you're not going to be able to drive, but with 2 strikes, you want to do anything to protect that plate, and if it's close, you got to be at least trying to fight it off, but yeah, tough strike to take. Another thing, you talk about this field and not having to do much maintenance, but we had a lot of rain overnight too, and now the drainage is able to, clear the field. They're not going to have puddles, they're not going to have wet spots, so the players kind of anticipate what they have in front of them when the ball's coming towards them.
So first 2 batters hit line drive singles to left. The next 2 have struck out. We'll see what Zach Listiak is able to do here for Park. Lifting it out to left field. And Castle underneath it and will make the catch. So tough start for Westermeyer, but he gets out of it. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left aboard for St. Louis Park in the top of the first. And Wayzata and Bobby DeWitt's team will get their first time with the bats. So look at Coach DeWitt as their team, past couple section champions, 2 years ago winning the state title. Last year came into the state tournament as the #1 seed. No doubt more losses this season. It hasn't been quite the dominant year that they maybe had gotten used to the last couple, but it's kind of a credit to their program as a whole and their depth as a whole that they're able to get there. As you look at the lineup for Trojans, Dahl leading it off, Keegan Nickel, who's been very hot at shortstop, Nick Kay, the first baseman, then it's the pitcher Westermeyer, Ian Colson, the DH, Engdahl, the center fielder, hit 6, Tom Groshala catches. That's 7th, Tibbetts, the second baseman, and Adam Castle, the left fielder, hitting in the #9 slot. And defensively for Brian Kelly and the Orioles, Pekarik, Ellingson, and Ryan in the outfield, Stillman, Dvorak, Boyum, and Listiak. In the infield, Meyer doing the catching. And Sorenson is the pitcher for St. Louis Park, the lefty. Well, we had a chance to see what kind of an athlete he is. Snowy football field over at Cooper High School, and he, as the quarterback, led the Orioles to the state playoffs for the first time after just doing a heck of a job against Cooper in that game. Cooper had a great year, but boy, you had to hand it to Sorenson. He showed what an athlete he is in that game. Yeah,
that Cooper team was fantastic all year. They've turned that program around. They've been kind of one of the dominant schools in that section, in that class. And for St. Louis Park, you say it was their first time, but that's a pretty old school. And for them to be able to say that they finally made it to state in football was a huge accomplishment. There was a buzz around the city. Unfortunately, I think it was Brainerd that they ended up losing to in the state tournament. But to make it to state in the football playoffs was a great accomplishment. Now they're trying to do the same thing here in baseball. But they got their hands full with this Wayzata program.
Delaney Dahl stepping in, a .235 average for him, .350 on base, and he takes the first pitch strike. Delaney has scored 11 runs this season. He's also been hit by 3 pitches. They seem to have a fairly high number of hit by pitch. I don't know if it's coincidence or not, but
yeah, I've done a game or two of Wayzata this year, and I think I've actually seen him get called back once, and then he got hit again, and he just kind of sat there and waited for the umpire to say, okay, you get your free base. But he sits up there on the plate, and he's not afraid to take a pitch, and that's what you're supposed to do as a leadoff hitter. If you're not up there hitting home runs or hitting triples, you don't have that type of hitter in the lineup usually. So if you can do whatever you can to get on base, that's going to get you towards the top of the order, and that's what he's been doing this year.
Hey, make one out here. Let's go, D.
Another 0-2 back up the middle past Sorenson. It stopped, but they're not going to be in time to get the out there. And it looked like turning his ankle maybe a little bit down there at second as Luke Boyum as well.
Yeah, I think he definitely was. In the dirt when you feel the ball, you get a little bit of give in that when you're trying to pivot and shift your weight. But in this turf, there's no give. So I think you see this cleat kind of catch, and he rolls his ankle. And not able to get a good solid throw over there, but the leadoff runner gets on for Wayzata here.
Yeah, and all things considered, it was a decent throw. It just didn't have as much on it as he normally would because he planted and his foot kind of gave way there. And kind of looks like maybe Luke may not be able to continue here.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting a sub for him. Tough break for St. Louis Park here.
Looks like Anthony Odens is going to come in. We'll see if he goes right to second. It was strange because actually the pitcher Sorenson had a bit of an awkward fall too. He's okay, but unfortunately Boyum is not.
Yeah, the ball sounded like it was coming off the bat pretty hard, but it wasn't hit all that hard. So the second baseman had time to get over and field it cleanly, and I think if he keeps his footwork clean, I think he's going to have a decent chance to get that out at first. But he can kind of see when he comes up, he has a little bit of pain and doesn't get a really strong throw over there to first, unfortunately.
So Keegan Nickel, the shortstop, will step up here for Wayzata, squares around and takes a strike. Nickel has been hitting well, 371 average. He's knocked in 10, 8 doubles to his credit. Keep in mind, of course, that if the ankle comes around, Boyum can re-enter this game too, unlike the major leagues where he'd be, done for the evening. So Sorensen shooting strikes here. Nickel down 0-2 in the count. And that one hit him.
Not what he wanted to do there. Up 0-2 in the count. He took away the sacrifice bunt. Unfortunately, wasn't able to come through on that curveball and kind of hits him right in the lower back. Not very hard at all, but in the end, he gives up a free pass, and would have been better if it kind of ended up going behind him. But now Wayzata's in a good spot to do some damage here in the bottom of the first, like St. Louis Park was, but they weren't able to capitalize.
And that was that slow curveball. If you're going to get hit by a pitch, that's the one you want to get hit by.
Yeah.
So Nick Kay is the batter for the Trojans, hitting .328 this year, 15 runs batted in, 4 doubles, 1 home run, and squared around and did go.
Interesting to see if they keep that on with their 3-hitter up there. Usually you got a pretty solid bat with a lot of power, and but it looks like they're willing to give up an out to move 2 runners into scoring position here early in the game.
Sorensen bluffing to second.
Sometimes you want to keep those runners close, but you also want to see if the batter continues to put that sacrifice bunt around, and there they did see that he kind of did square around, so you would anticipate another sacrifice attempt.
He does bunt it. Sorensen's going to go to third and gets the out easily. One-hop bunt right back to the pitcher and on artificial turf. That one was not terribly difficult for Sorensen. He made the heads-up play to go right to third, and they get the out.
And that goes back to that attempted pickoff that, you see that he's going to square around, so you have the knowledge that he's going to probably lay down that bunt again, so you charge the plate, and then with the lefty, he's easily able to come over and spin and make that clean throw over to third and get the first out.
And Sam Westermeyer is the batter, and he is hit by the pitch, and Sorensen is complaining to the umpire, and Coach Kelly's going to come out to talk as well.
I highly doubt that they would overturn this, but this is something that you got to put in the mind of the umpire. That Wayzata, he's way in on the box, and that's probably on the inside corner, just out the inside corner of the plate. But the batter does have the right to stay in the box. And when you turn and try and swing towards that ball, your natural motion is to kind of step towards the pitcher and in, so you're using the most of your weight. But when you get hit there, that's a tough call for the umpire to make.
So Colson is the batter. Got a courtesy runner down there at first base as Brennan Albert, it looks like, will be running for the pitcher Westermeyer. That's the reason for the stoppage here, as the umpire records that in his lineup.
Big spot here for Wayzata, and if you're St. Louis Park, you want to just make sure you get that first out. Obviously, you want to keep the runs off the board, but you want to make sure you get that first out. Don't rush anything to try and force two. Make sure you're able to get that first out.
So base is full now for Colson. Takes a first pitch strike.
Don't think it on that. It should be automatic. It's right down the pipe. Can't lean into that one. Here we go. Double them up
See
here.
the
Let's go.
bases loaded up here for the Trojans. 2 of them on hit by pitches. And that one fouled back as Colson was fooled there, but got a piece of it.
Yeah, nice off-speed pitch there by Sorenson.
Here we go, Johnny.
Interesting defensive lineman here for St. Louis Park. They got the first baseman in on the green turf, and then everybody else back in natural position.
0-2, and he fights that one off. Colson hitting at .385 this year, 5 runs batted in,
Hey, good job, so
3 runs scored. He's has had not as many at bats as some of their guys who are in there every single day, but
double them up.
good opportunity here, although he's behind in the count. Lifting a pop-up, and this one will be caught. An infield fly rule is called there anyway, so 2 outs. Big out recorded there by Sorenson, and Charles Engdahl will be the hitter now for the Trojans.
Let's play.
Number 6, center fielder Charles Engdahl.
Yeah, it's it's early in the game, but this is one of the big parts of the game that we'll see this evening. I mean, Wayzata able to get the bases loaded with nobody out, and here they are, 1 out away from not being able to get a run across the plate. St. Louis Park would have a huge momentum builder. Something to keep in mind here at Hopkins, there's a lot of room behind that plate, and Sorenson's been throwing that breaking ball. So far, he's been able to keep it up and out of the turf, but
Good job, so.
Engdahl fouls that one back. He's got a .349 average coming in, and knocked in 4 runs, 1 double, 1 triple, and it was kind of similar. Park didn't load the bases, but they got hits in their first 2 batters, and Wayzata got out of it. Now Sorenson and company trying to do the same. That one up high, taken for a ball.
Don't freeze up. Sun's hot. You're wearing black. Here we go. Good job, so. Nice pitch.
And the 1-1 count. A little tapper foul.
Good job, Johnny. Hey, sometimes you gotta get balls.
nice job there by the catcher to let that ball bounce, because if that has topspin with this turf, it could catch a grip and roll that fair. That batter had no desire to head down first base, but the runner from third base was coming in. He would have scored, he touched home, but if they get that force out at first, that run wouldn't count.
Hey, coming out. Here we go.
1-2 offering is way up high, and this one is going to score the run. Well, it wasn't the breaking ball that you had mentioned. This time the fastball just got away from Sorenson, and Nickel will come in to score. And obviously no chance really for the catcher there, John Meyer. That one was way up and out.
Yeah, first pitch that Sorenson really hasn't had too much control on. He missed a breaking ball, but it was, wasn't too far inside, but that one was not even close to even being near the strike zone.
And Engdahl popping this one up near first base, or down the right field line, excuse me, and playable out there for Ryan, and he will make the catch in foul ground. So the Orioles do get out of trouble. Wayzata does get 1 run in the inning on no base hits, no errors, and they strand a couple. So after an inning complete, it's 1-0.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
And welcome back here to Hopkins as we go to inning number 2. Ian Sandbo will lead it off here for St. Louis Park. And it does look like Luke Boyum is in the on-deck circle, so he is going to re-enter after turning his ankle in the field defensively, it would appear. First pitch taken for a strike there by Sandbo. See what he did against Hopkins in the opener here this evening. Obviously, not every single game, Drew, but boy, we've generally had a lot of pretty well played games in this tournament. A lot of low scoring, you know, not the error-filled and, you know, runs where nobody could get anybody out kind of thing. Pretty good pitching and defense in this tournament so far, which is fun to see. Ooh. Sharp breaking ball there for Westermeyer. He gets his third strikeout. And it indeed is Luke Boyum who's going to bat here for St. Louis Park. So he comes back in after kind of catching his foot on the edge of the turf. I don't really know that there's any kind of seam or anything out there. It's the two different colors coming together. There probably is a slight bit of a seam that he stepped in there while fielding that bouncer. But good to see that Luke's apparently well enough to get back up there and give it a shot here as a hitter.
Yeah, I think he really wants to get up there and swing the bat. And it's different when you're in the field because you got to be moving all the time. You're moving left and right, back and forth. Here, when you're batting, you're somewhat stationary. And when you hit the ball, it's kind of that emotion that adrenaline will take over and kind of take over any pain you have in your ankle. But I wouldn't be surprised to see if they end up pinch running for him if he does get on base. But we'll see what happens.
Swing and a miss, although in that case he would be out of the game if they do run for him. So might get a look at. He's hoping he doesn't hit a bouncer to
the corner.
Where he's got to run. Oh no, this is a line drive, and that one will be in for a base hit. And Boyum checks in at first base with a one-out single here. So Orioles have hit some balls pretty hard so far. 3 base hits already. And Jacob Stillman will be the batter.
Yeah, and he's staying out there. Nice swing. Didn't try to hit the ball too hard. You know, sometimes it's all about just making solid contact. You're not going to try and nobody's on base, so you can get a home run, but it's one run. Just get on base and see what your team can do behind you to keep moving around the bases.
Cut and a miss there, or excuse me, fouls it back there.
You know, you were talking about this section and the cleanliness of play, and it is fun to watch because when a team wins, it's because they played good baseball, and a team loses, they played good and they didn't really blow a chance to win the game. But you know, it's fun to watch teams really play solid baseball on both sides, and then you see the teams grow and develop and get confident and who's the better team. And it's not that somebody choked or blew a lead; it's somebody played a good game and won the game fair and square.
Fights that one off on the right field line there.
I think that was my science classroom over there, yeah?
Boy, I'm getting a lead, but keep in mind he's turned his ankle in the field. Probably less likely to run because of that. High chopper to third. Gullickson charges in, will get the out. Moves the runner up, so 2 outs now and a runner at second for the Orioles.
No, not a wasted at bat. Moved the runner down to the scoring position, made contact. Forced Wayzata to make the play, hustled down to first base, and it was close, but Wayzata made a nice play to get that second out of the inning.
So John Meyer, the catcher, will step up here for St. Louis Park, takes a strike.
All right, John, here we go. Hands ready, baby.
And that one taken down low for a ball.
You know, something the Wayzata outfielders need to be thinking about too is that with that rolled ankle with the runner at second base, you have a chance on something that's hit to the side of you. The ball doesn't have to be hit exactly at you to make a throw to home plate.
Rip and a miss there. So 1-2 count. Westermeyer trying to get out of a little jam again here in the second inning as he did in the first. Ooh, fouls that one off the noggin of the catcher, Goshala. Looks like he's all right, though.
Rattles the cage. Nothing too serious, though.
It's funny, sometimes the ones that are a little louder seem like they're not the ones that really get you. It's the ones that maybe have a little quiet thud. And there's a called third strike, and Meyer caught looking. Second strikeout of the inning for Wester Myers. He again gets out of a little trouble. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left aboard for Park in the second. We go to the bottom half of inning 2. Wayzata leading at 1-0 here on CCX Sports. There's a look at Boyum back in the field defensively there as Wayzata leading at 1-0. We go to the bottom half of the second. Groshala, Tibbetts, and Castle, the 7, 8, 9 hitters scheduled to bat.
Definitely not a shortage of base runners here in the first inning and a half. Both teams have had their fair share, and Wayzata had a good chance to jump out to a big lead. St. Louis Park's been hitting the ball pretty well. Good start to this game.
Yeah, so many of these games like this that are going to be close, it's kind of when you get the hits too, not just how many, because both of them able to get out of trouble there in a couple of those innings. You see Coach DeWitt and trying to get his team back in the state tournament. They've put together a pretty strong program. Obviously, they've got a lot, as we've said, a lot going for them in terms of numbers. They're a huge school and some pretty well-to-do communities to draw from and all that, but still, you've got to do it. And Brian Kelly doing a nice job with the program. And I talked about it a couple of years ago, I think, Drew, that I kind of really feel like the St. Louis Park, high school or attendance or school district area could be kind of I could see a resurgence happening, and it already is.
I tell you.
There's definitely, it's a city with a lot going for it in terms of, size and location and some good business interest in the city as well. And so they could, I think they could be a team that does well in the future in some of their sports.
Yeah, I think there was a trend that a lot of the students would end up going to private schools in St. Louis Park. They'd look for athletic opportunities, whether it's Benilde, Breck, Blake. They'd look for the private school route. But St. Louis Park has really turned around, and from seeing the homes of remodeling, the tear downs, the people trying to move in there. I mean, it's one of the hottest markets for homes in the state. And, the families that are living there now usually are moving in thinking about having kids or have young kids.
Well, how do you like that? Boy, the little made it look easy there. Popped it up in the air off his glove, just snared it with the bare hand, and he throws Groshala out. Pretty hard hit ball here, so you got a good test on this one, and watch him. Boy, I don't know.
Calm.
You practice him like that, or
that comes with experience.
That was nice.
And calmness. I mean, if you're rushing, you're probably going to bobble that ball, but he seems pretty calm out there and confident.
Carter Tibbetts, the batter, takes ball 1. Well, and here's the thing too. That's where you're happy to be a second baseman too, because you know that you have time to throw somebody out still on a ball like that. If you're playing over on the other side of the infield, you're probably going to rush yourself a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. If you're over at short or third, you got to rush that throw a little bit more. And second base, you maybe probably haven't done that exact play, but you fielded enough ground balls over there that you kind of have a mental clock in your mind to know, all right, I can. As long as I come up clean with this ball, I can get it over there and still get this out.
Carter Tibbetts got a piece of that one. Foul ball. Tibbetts on the season has only batted 16 times. He's 3 for 16. A couple of runs batted in.
Sometimes you gotta get off board, Johnny.
And lifted foul. That one's going to get out of play over onto the batting cage area over there.
Sorensen definitely not the hardest thrower I've seen this spring, but he's thrown solid strikes, and that curveball seems to be, he's been working that very effectively. And he seems to have good command of the zone here early in the game.
Well, and he changes speeds, and that makes your fastball look a little faster when you get that slow curveball that you can mix in. And a cut and a miss, and Tibbetts down on strikes. First K of the game for Sorenson. And Adam Castle will be the hitter.
Yeah, changing speeds is something that is so underrated for pitching. You know, you don't have to have the hardest breaking ball, but if you can change your speed from, you know, within 10 miles an hour here and there and locate it where you want to be, it's a much more effective pitch than trying to throw 95 and missing the zone half the time.
And he hits Castle with that breaking ball. So third hit batter of the game so far, as Castle aboard with 2 outs, and Delaney Dahl will be the hitter.
You know, another thing about throwing a slow curveball is that these batters aren't going to be afraid to just stand in there. You know, if you're throwing heat, you're throwing a hard breaking ball, these batters might try and jump and duck out of the way, but this is all coaching. You know, this comes in batting practice and building confidence in your hitters to say, hey, stay in that zone, it's not going to hurt you.
Delaney Dahl skying one out to left field. And it's the center fielder coming over, Ellingson, to make the catch. So Wayzata's done in the second. No runs, no hits. There was 1 left aboard. We've completed 2 full. It's 1-0 Trojans.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Welcome back. We go to inning 3. Johnny Sorenson stepping in. He takes a first pitch strike here from Westermeyer. Sorenson ripped a hard single to left field his first time up. He's 1 for 1. And this one knocked to short. Nickel up with it. And the throw across is in time as Sorenson out 6-3 on the putout. And Riley Dvorak will be the hitter. He also had a single in his first time up.
Nice play by the shortstop there to come up cleanly with that ball. Getting a strong throw over first base to get this leadoff out. Definitely want to do what you can to keep Sorenson off the base paths.
And Kay had to reach for that one a little bit there as well. Did a nice job of hanging on to the bag. Starts him with a breaking ball for a strike. See, Riley had a good start to his night as well with that single and that curveball in the dirt. Or no, not the dirt, but dirt area.
Have it.
Some of you drive here, 20. Don't leave it in his hands. Let's go. No waiting around for third one.
And strike 2 here, 1 and 2. Westermeyer's look pretty sharp. You can, you know, they have had a couple or 3 very nice hits actually, but he's throwing the ball well. You can see why Wayzata had confidence to put him out there tonight.
Yeah, he's throwing strikes, and that's what you ask your starters to do, is don't give up free passes. And
a liner, but caught. Whew.
Yeah. Great play by the second baseman there. If that gets over his head through his glove, that is a good chance to get into the gap.
Tibbetts reacting well, going to his right. He didn't have to move terribly far for it, but that ball was smoked.
Yeah, solid contact to the right side of the infield. Nice play by the second baseman.
And certainly for the first and second baseman and right fielder, the sun is definitely an issue at this time. Tibbetts having the glasses on. A line drive, it's maybe not quite the issue as a ball in the air, but still. So Pekarik is the batter now for St. Louis Park. Takes that one for a strike, and it's 1-1. He struck out his first time up here against Westermeyer. You see the sun coming, looking the right side, players looking toward it here, and probably will be for another half hour or so.
Step out, Shane.
maybe a little more than that. Beautiful day, though. I mean, I think initially when the week started, there was talk that we could see more tough weather tonight. There's a swinging strikeout. Tag applied, and the Orioles down 1-2-3 in the third. We go to the bottom half of inning number 3 with Wayzata leading at 1-0.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Here we go, Jay, after this. That's us.
I don't think they're warming up for the game. That's another activity. A lot going on around here at Hopkins. There's something going on in the stadium, too, and a little exercise class or whatnot here, but good ball game out here as well. Here's Wayzata leading at 1-0. We go to the bottom half of inning number 3. The 2-3-4 hitters, Nickel, Kay, and Westermeyer getting set to bat for the Trojans against St. Louis Park left-hander Johnny Sorenson.
Yeah, beautiful night. You were mentioning before the break that there's a chance that when you're looking at the weather schedule earlier this week, there's a chance we might have rain. But boy, we've really lucked out this tournament here at Hopkins High School. The number one thing for me is no bugs. If you have a little rain, it's okay. But as long as there's no bugs, it's a beautiful night for baseball.
Nickel will step up. He scored the only run of the game so far as he was hit by a pitch. Eventually came around and scored on a wild pitch. Hits this ball down to second. Boyum throws to first for the out. One gone quickly here in the bottom of the third, and Nick Kay will be the batter now for the Trojans.
Again, Boyum coming up with that ground ball and kind of bobbled it again, but took his time, didn't feel rushed, and gained his composure and threw it over to first base to get that out.
So Kay this time will not be asked to bunt, presumably. Last time he bunted into a force play. It's another thing that's a little bit different, I think, on turf, is it's a little bit harder to deaden that ball well enough to get a bunt that's going to move somebody over.
Yeah, it's definitely an adjustment.
His bunt pretty much just came right up to Sorenson on one hop.
Yeah, it's definitely an adjustment when you're bunting on turf because you don't even have dirt around the home plate. So even if you bunt it in the dirt where it would be typically dirt, it would deaden the ball and kind of take a hop or two towards the pitcher when you typically play on a grass field. But here it's going to bounce right to the pitcher.
Rip and a miss at that one. Sorenson continuing to look strong out there for Park.
Let's go, Park. What do you say, boys? Let's get to the route. Yes, down here, Johnny, huh? What do you say, huh? Sit him down here, kid.
And a little tapper. This is going to be a tough play. Throw to first on the run, not in time, and Kay able to beat it out for an infield hit. Stillman did all he could with that one, as it's just a slow bouncer, and he had to hurry it and didn't quite get him.
Yeah, it was very lightly hit chopper down third base. Sorenson doesn't really have a chance to get that ball. Third baseman does a good job running in, but he's playing deep already because you got the three-hitter looking for a pull. Good field, nice scoop by the first baseman, but the runner hustles down there and just beats the throw.
So Westermeyer will be the batter for the Trojans, and a foul ball, I believe, here. Yep. And into the catcher, Meyer. Westermeyer on a hit by pitch, his first time up.
You were saying earlier that, sometimes the louder ones aren't nearly as bad as the silent ones, and that one really didn't hurt, or didn't hear that much, but I think it hit him right in the chest protector down in the midsection. That sometimes you can feel that a little more than a ball that hits you in the mask.
Go, black team. Turn a pair here.
On the third base line, that's a fair ball. He's going to go to first with it, and a nice strong throw to get the out. Boy, Stillman didn't hesitate at all. He didn't look at second, and that gave him an opportunity to get the out. I think that was a smart play to go there. Was it going to be a tougher throw? Even though it's longer to first base, I think that would have been a tougher throw to second.
Definitely a smart play. You can see as he fields the ball, he kind of takes a peek over to second base, but he knew he was going to first base because the runner had a decent lead and got a jump and knew that ball was on the ground, so he's hustling down to second, so he's got a few steps ahead of him on the runner from home plate. Nice strong throw across. That's about as long of a throw as you'll make here on the baseball diamond.
Ian Colson fouled the first pitch off. He popped out to the shortstop his first time up, so 2 outs, runner at second for Wayzata. Sorenson will chase him back. There were really no infielders heading over that way, so Kay didn't have anything to worry about there, but Sorenson just trying to keep him close. But you give your outfielder one more step to maybe throw him out on a hit to the outfield, and that's smart.
Yeah, runner's definitely getting a big lead down there. You want to make sure you kind of keep him close so you don't easily give up the second run here if there's a single.
Go, get that out. Here we go, black team.
So now they move the second baseman a little bit further over towards the bag.
And he pops it up. Boyum calling for this one. He will make the catch, and the Trojans are done in the third. No runs, 1 hit, and a runner left on base. We have completed 3. It's 1-0 Wayzata here on CCX.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
And Ryan stepping in to lead it off here in the top of the 4th for St. Louis Park. Takes a first pitch strike here from Westermeyer. Ryan went down looking his first time up, so 0 for 1. Chopper to the left side. Nickel, the shortstop, up with it, and he'll throw him out. 1 gone here in the 4th, and Zach Listiak will be the batter.
Good range there by the shortstop to move over to his right, clean that field, keep the momentum going, turn it towards first base, and make a strong throw over there to get that first out.
I think a nice job, too, to realize he wasn't going to get there by the third baseman, Gullickson, and not, continue over into his teammate's line of sight there, into his way.
Yeah, you definitely either want to peel off or duck down and just do whatever you can to get out of his line of throwing that ball.
Listiak flied to left field his first time up, and there's a strike. Missed outside with that one, 1 and 2. And popped up short left field. And it will be Gullickson, the third baseman, making that catch. And 2 gone now, and Ian Sanbo will step up here for St. Louis Park. At first I thought that one might be a little bit of a tough chance. Your ball right back over your head like that is kind of a difficult one.
Yeah, good communication there over on the left side. Usually the shortstop will call him off, but I think the third baseman called it first. The shortstop may have tried to come off, but the third baseman stuck with it and got that ball to get the second out here.
Sanbo fouling the first pitch off. He struck out in the 2nd inning.
Here we go. No one can hit, boys. No one can hit. Here we go.
Sharp breaking ball there. Did he go? No. Taken for a ball.
Good job, E. Put all the work in here. Here we go. What you looking for, baby?
1-1 pitch. And that one is over for a strike.
Yeah, Westermeyer's having really good control of that breaking ball. He's really keeping these St. Louis Park batters off balance when he's throwing that breaking ball.
1-2 offering and taken for ball 2. Comes back fastball, and a called third strike will end the top of the 4th. For the Orioles, no runs, no hits, and no one left. We go to the bottom of 4. Still a 1-0 lead here for Wayzata in the final round in Section 6-4A.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Welcome back here to Hopkins High School, site of the Section 6-4A baseball tournament. This is a final round game. If Wayzata wins, they claim the section title. If St. Louis Park wins, we'll come back Friday for a final game. Charles Engdahl stepping in to lead it off for Wayzata here in the bottom of the 4th. Fouled out to the first base, or down the first baseline, first time up. Rip and a miss at that one. Both Sorenson and Westermeyer, they're different, but they've both been pretty impressive.
Yeah, they both, both coaches have to be very happy with what they're getting out of their starting pitchers this evening.
Liner to center, and that will drop in. Engdahl with a leadoff single here in the 4th for the Trojans, and Tom Groshala will be the batter.
Batting for the Trojans.
Be interesting to see if Wayzata plays small ball here again with nobody out run on first. I would anticipate them to lay down a sacrifice bunt with try and get that runner down in scoring position.
Is squaring, and he bunts. Sorenson's going to think about second, and then turns, and the ball's dropped at first. And there's a lot of room and foul ground here. Engdahl is going to be held up at third, but a costly one there.
Oh no!
And now here comes the throw to the plate. He is safe. Engdahl, a late rush home, and the Orioles slow to react with it.
Yeah, didn't hustle to get the ball into the pitcher. You know, usually you want to get the ball into the infield. Nice play by Sorenson here to get that ball down to first base. Yeah. I don't know if he lost it in the sun or.
See, that's what I was thinking to myself. That might have been a scenario, but then here's the big mistake. And time is not when the ball's not back in, near the pitching mound or whatever. Time was not called. So Engdahl, a late charge for home, and he'll make it.
Heads up running there by Wayzata to take advantage of that mental mistake, and the runner also moves down to third base on the throw. He was keeping an eye on the second base, or the runner down at second base, and he ends up staying at second base, but that runner from third base comes in and scores.
Cullen Stamp is running. He's a courtesy runner for the catcher, so he's at second base. Carter Tibbetts will be the hitter here for the Trojans. They now lead 2-0.
And again, I wouldn't be surprised to see him play small ball here again to get that runner down to third base, but.
Pop him up, let's go. Pop him up, double him up. Go get him, boys.
Does square around, gets the bunt down. Sorensen is going to go to first again, and it hits the runner. Oh, umpire's calling time. And we're going to have, we may have the hitter is out, and the runner will be sent back. So that will not count, as Tibbetts apparently was running inside the baseline there. Throw hits him, so he will be out. And they're also sending the runner back.
Nice job.
Yeah, all the way back to second base here.
The rules. That's it.
This is going to be an interesting discussion. Again, I don't think there's anything you can do to overturn the play because they don't have the benefit of review here in the monitor to see the different camera angles. But the runner, you know, we have a good line right down the first baseline. And it didn't seem like the runner was too far inside the line, but that's up to the umpire's call and judgment there.
Yeah, and he made it. He did make the call immediately too. Yeah, he's definitely in the infield side there. I can go with that.
So he's in. Yeah, that's a tough call because he's a right-handed batter, so he's inside. But as he gets closer to first base, he's more towards the line than he was when he came out of the box. Either way, it's going to be a tough play for the first baseman. Fortunately for St. Louis Park here, the umpire makes the call. They get that out, and they return the runner back to second base.
So that's the first out of the inning, and the runner again sent back to second, so Castle will bat. And a little pop-up long run, but no chance early there to get to that one, so just a strike.
You know, important for Wayzata here to just stay focused. Keep trying to hit. Don't get caught up on that call that didn't go your way. You know, it could have gone your way. You could have been up 3-0 here with nobody out and a runner on third, or a runner on second or third. But, you know, move past that. The call's been made. Try to keep hitting and get another run across the plate here.
And this one lifted out to left field, but it's going to be playable. Fairly well hit. But Pekarik is there for the catch, and out number 2. Yeah, you're right. And it was kind of the same thing on the previous batter for Park to have to kind of shake that off too. And it's an important point to make, is that really how, you know, staying in it mentally for both teams in the various situations that kind of went against them. You know, that's important in a game like this. You don't want to let one run spiral into more, and you don't want to have it go the other way for the other team too. Delaney Dahl will step up. And a high pop-up. This one might be playable. And it is. As Listiak able to get over there and make the catch. So it looked like it might be a bigger inning. Turns out to be just a one-run inning for Wayzata. 1 run, 1 hit. There was 1 error and 1 left aboard. We've completed 4 innings here at Hopkins. It is 2-0 Trojans.
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast does whatever she wants, obviously. She's sleeping right now. She's an epic snuggler. She's so comforting. She's so loving. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew right then that she was special.
And welcome back as Westermeyer completes his warm-up tosses. The bottom third of the order will come up for St. Louis Park. Boyum, Stillman, and Meyer getting set to bat here. Let's get a look at how things have shaped up so far here as Wayzata beating Hopkins in the last round 7-3. St. Louis Park then beating Hopkins to get here in the game right before this one. And here's Boyum lifting one out to right. Again, remember the sun's tough at this time, but seemingly no difficulty out there for Dahl as he'll make the catch.
Yeah, fortunately for Dahl, I think that ball was hit high enough. Jay, I think the apex is what they call it. I think that ball was hit high enough that the sun didn't come into play. But if you get a line drive out on that right side of the field, it's definitely going to be tough for that first base, second base, or right fielder to track that ball.
Stillman is the batter now, and he takes the first pitch strike. He bounced to third base his first time up. Interesting, that shot we had there that Dahl had his glasses on the bill of the cap there, not on full time. Some people don't like to have the sunglasses, you know, on at all times. It's just kind of what you're used to. And
yeah, whatever you feel comfortable doing, whatever allows you to pick up that ball the best.
Fastball missing there from Westermeyer.
Same rhythm, same pattern. Let's go. Same rhythm, same
And a swing and a miss on the breaking ball for out number 2 as Stillman just unable to hold up there. And that will leave it to John Meyer here in the 5th.
Breaking ball for Westermeyer has been his go-to pitch, and Wayzata just has not been able to figure it out. The few hits they have, I think they've been on fastballs, and they've been aggressive early in the count, but when Westermeyer gets ahead and he's able to fall back in that breaking ball, he's been really dangerous.
Strike taken there by Meyer at the knees.
Don't trust him. Let's go. So we can put the barrel on it. Get it right.
And strike 2.
Here we go, boys. Here we go.
Sorenson waiting on deck here if Meyer can keep the inning going. Comes back, fastball up high, and he just fought that one off.
Relentless attitude, Juice. Relentless. Let's go.
Comes back, breaking ball. It's off Westermeyer's glove, and they're not going to have a play anymore, and it's a base hit for Meyer. So a 2-out infield single for the 9-hitter Meyer. Westermeyer getting his glove to it, but unable to get clean control, and at that point there wasn't much chance for anybody else.
Yeah, I think the second baseman probably would have had a chance if Westermeyer doesn't flag that ball down, but he does, and the second baseman's already moving up towards the middle of the box to field the ball as it's going up the middle, but Westermeyer knocks it down and kind of leaves it in no man's land and allows the runner to scoot down to first base.
Jack Wanmacher will be the courtesy runner for the catcher Meyer at first base as Sorenson steps in.
Everybody out for the next guy. Let's go.
And he pops this one up, but it'll get out of play down the left field side. Been a little while since Westermeyer's had to work from the stretch. There hadn't been a runner since Boyum got on in the second inning.
Yeah, he's been cruising after that first inning. Those 2 runners got on, he calmed down, and has been really dominant. Feeling really comfortable and looking confident out there.
Sorenson, another line drive hit to left, just like he did to start the ball game. And so now 2 on with 2 outs for St. Louis Park as he did a nice job just throwing the hands out and knocking that one hard into left.
Yeah, nice swing by Sorenson here. It's always nice to see a hitter hit with solid contact and a little bit of power to the opposite side of the field because, usually kids try and pull every pitch they can, but if you got a pitch that's on the outside part of the plate, you got to put it in the opposite field, and that's what Sorenson did there. And now St. Louis Park has a chance to put together a 2-out rally. And I think what you're going to see from St. Louis Park here is maybe be a little bit more aggressive at the plate and jump on those fastballs early in the count because when Westermeyer's been able to get ahead, he's thrown that breaking ball with consistency and accuracy.
Dvorak lined out last time, and he hits this ball hard out to right center field. This might tie it up. It's 2 to the gap, and St. Louis Park's going to score 2. Dvorak ties it up with a long double. He hit the ball really hard in that same general direction last time he was up, but it went into the second baseman's mitt. This time got it up a little bit more, and no chance for the outfielders to cut this one off before it got to the gap.
Great hitting there. Lets the ball get deep in the box, drives it with power to right center field. Huge gap out there. The center fielder is kind of shading him towards left center field and playing a little in, so a long distance for him to run, and those runners were moving on contact with two outs, and they get those 2 runs across the plate easily.
Shea Pekarik, the hitter, swung and missed at the first pitch. He's struck out twice, but a great opportunity here to try and give his team the lead. Fastball over for strike 2. So the game turns in quite a hurry here as first 2 hitters went out, rather routine, and then Meyer, that infield hit off the pitcher's glove. Sorensen strokes a hard single to left, and then Dvorak doubles them both in. And this one hit into left field for a base hit. They're going to have to hold the runner, though. And so runners at the corners as Pekarik knocking that one past Gullickson and into left. So 4 straight base hits for St. Louis Park.
Nice single to the left side of the infield. Kept that one down on the ground just past the third baseman. The runner from second, you'd think they'd be able to come in on a single with 2 outs, but that ball was so close to the third baseman that he had to kind of hold up because if the third baseman fields that ball, all he has to do is stand up and tag him out if the runner's moving to first. So he does a smart play and holds up at third, and now St. Louis Park has a runner on third and first with 2 outs, and now you keep that pass ball in play. And we haven't seen Westenmeyer be low in the zone or in the turf that much this afternoon, but all it takes is one pitch here where he's, his go-to pitch, the breaking ball. If he leaves it low in the zone, that runner from third has a chance to come down and score the go-ahead run here.
So Brent Ryan with an opportunity here, first and third, 2 outs. See if St. Louis Park would think about trying to start the runner from first and get that run home any way you could over there and getting a run down even, but we'll see. Or what Wayzata would do if they try that even. Ryan's had a strikeout and a ground out to short.
You know what to do. Here we go.
Fastball fouled straight back.
All right, Brent. Nice to relax, Tree. Nobody does it better than you. Go with that side outside pitch and drive it right through it, kid.
Fastball over for strike 2. Doesn't really seem like Westermeyer's been losing anything, and I think that's part of the reason they kept him in. I mean, they've gotten 4 hits in a row off him, but it doesn't seem like the quality of his pitches has necessarily gotten any less in this inning, I didn't think. And a big cut and a miss. Ryan down on strikes, but it's a great inning for the Orioles as they come up with 2 runs on 4 base hits. No errors, and they strand a couple on base. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's now 2-2 as Park battles back.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
Welcome back here. This one is taking a turn as St. Louis Park fights back to tie it up at 2-2 with a couple of runs in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom half of the inning, and Keegan Nickel getting set to lead it off for Wayzata. Johnny Sorenson on the hill still for the Orioles, and things turned in a hurry for Westermeyer. Looked like he was sailing along, and then 4 straight base hits, the biggest being the 2-run double by Riley Dvorak, getting St. Louis Park right back into it. To Westermeyer's credit, he did come back to get that last strikeout and keep the game tied.
Yeah, nice job to regain his composure. St. Louis Park had a huge 2-out rally to put 2 runs up there on the top of the 5th inning, and Westermeyer came back and got that strikeout to end the inning and strand the runners.
Nickel reached after being hit by a pitch his first time up and scored the first run of the game for the Trojans.
Nobody better one.
And that went over for a strike. It's kind of interesting to see what Wayzata does when we come around to the top of the 6th, if Westermeyer will be back out there or not. They came into the game thinking, a good night would be to get 5 out of him, but he hasn't thrown all that many pitches. Lifted out to short center, and it's going to actually be the shortstop drifting back, Dvorak, to make the catch.
Good communication there by the center fielder and the shortstop. Dvorak kept calling him off. That's usually the center fielder's ball, and the shortstop will peel off, but I think you saw an experienced Dvorak there just keep yelling, I got it, and he comes up cleanly with the ball and avoids any mishap with the center fielder.
Nick Kay reached last time after singling. First time up, he bunted into a force play. Takes the first pitch strike.
Yeah, going back to Westmeyer and Wayzata, I mean, that's kind of the benefit of having a solid pitching staff is you can put him out there, and you know if you're got a tight game and he gets himself into a jam, they can come in with another solid arm.
Popping it up, and again, a lot of room and foul ground. This will indeed be playable for Liskiak. So second one of those he's had in the last couple innings, and now Westermeyer will be the hitter for Wayzata.
Yeah, nice job by the first baseman there to hustle over towards the fence. You know, you're not all too familiar with this field, and there's really not much. There's no warning track. I mean, there's color, but there's no difference between the turf, so you don't actually know when you're there by the feel of the feet. So you hustle over there, try and locate the fence, and work your way back in towards the ball.
Westermeyer takes that one high and outside.
Hey, relentless, let's go, black team. Eat them up, throw them out, let's go.
Westermeyer driving this one a long way to center field, and it is out. Home run. Westermeyer gives the Trojans the lead back with one swing as he drives that one out to center field, along with Dvorak's ball, best hit ball of the night, and Wayzata back into the lead.
Yeah, good piece of hitting, drove that ball, and I think you saw Dvorak kind of go down to his knees right away. He could tell from the sound of the ball and right off the bat that ball had a chance to get out of the park, and sure enough it did.
First home run of the year for Westermeyer, just the fourth overall for Wayzata. And we're going to have a pinch hitter, it looks like now, for the Trojans, as Nick Krinke will step up to bat.
Yeah, that's a pretty good look at his swing there. You twist those hips, get that weight going towards the ball, use your momentum to put a little extra charge on the ball, and just enough to get over the fence and give Wayzata a 3-2 lead here.
Boy, I could tell off the bat it was hit really well. It was hard to say for sure whether it was going to have quite enough to get out, but it certainly did. So Nick Krinke getting set to bat here for the Trojans with 2 outs and nobody on base. .220 average for Krinke. He had a good game, important hit when we were here last week when they beat Armstrong. Takes that one up high and away for a ball. Well, like Westermeyer, as a pitcher, had to settle down after getting scorched a little bit. Sorenson, same thing right now. You just got to wipe the slate clean, forget about that.
Yep. Tip your cap. It's not what you wanted, but great piece of hitting by Westermeyer. You got a pitch that he could drive, and sure enough, he did drive it. And put that behind you if you're Sorenson and go back out there and keep throwing strikes.
It's kind of an interesting thing for the pitcher. Westermeyer, I'm sure, was upset that he gave up those 4 hits in a row and they tied up the game. And then you come back and as a hitter, you get yourself back in the right frame of mind with that home run.
Yeah, help your own cause. Good job there.
There is some activity in the Wayzata bullpen, so we'll see if Westermeyer will be out there when the next inning comes around. But for now, Nick Krinke drawing a 2-out walk. And Engdahl will be the batter for Wayzata. First, Coach Kelly's going to come out, and I think he's going to make a pitching change here. Looks like indeed he's calling out to his left fielder, Pekarek. Apparently he's going to come in and pitch, and Johnny Sorensen coming out after a very solid outing here. We'll take a look at how this game is shaped up so far as we get this pitching change.
Yeah, nice afternoon there by Sorensen.
See, back to this was the first run of the game, came in on a wild pitch back in the first inning as Nichols scored. And then a bunt. Here's the throw that gets away. And that was bad enough for Park, but then they go get the ball and didn't throw it back in right away. And Engdahl took advantage and dove in to home at the top of the 4th. But Riley Dvorak answered that with this smoking 2-run double to the right center field gap. That tied it up at 2-2 in the top half of inning number 5. And then Westermeyer puts Wayzata back in front as he drives this one out to center just over that low fence. Boy, it's a temporary fence because they're going to use this for other things. That fence was a little taller. That one might not have quite cleared it. It was close.
Yeah, because from where we're sitting, it looks like there's a fence above it, but it looks like that's actually a little bit further behind that blue fence. And I think if the blue fence is the height of that fence behind it, that would have been maybe ended up being a double here, and St. Louis Park may have been sitting in a tie ball game still.
Pekarek called on in relief here for the Orioles. Engdahl getting set to bat. You know, I think part of this too, Drew, is in any baseball game, but tonight too, both pitchers, once the guys have seen them a couple times, they're coming up for the third time, chances are they're going to have a little better idea, be locked in a little bit more too, and I think you kind of saw that with a little bit with a couple of those big hits lately.
Yeah, and I think what you know is what the pitcher's tendencies are and where they're throwing the ball. When they're throwing the curveball, if they get ahead, they're able to throw a nice breaking ball to get you out and keep you off balance. But what we saw at St. Louis Park in the top of the last half of the inning is they jumped early in the count on Westermeyer when he was throwing fastballs, and they were able to make solid contact.
Engdahl, a chopper foul past third. Bacharach, we could see after one pitch that he throws harder than Sorenson, that's for sure. 1-1. Up the middle, and that one is going to be through for a base hit. So Engdahl with his second straight hit. As he greets the reliever Bacharach with a single up the middle. Tom Grashala getting set to bat, and we're going to have a pinch runner, it looks like, for Wayzata, as Stamp will run at second base.
Yeah, that ball solidly hit up right up the middle. No chance for the shortstop to field it. Center fielder growls it and gets it into the infield quickly to keep the runner over there at second base. And now first and second with 2 up. Big spot here for St. Louis Park to try and get out of this to avoid any further damage here for the Trojans.
Grashala reached on an error last time.
Here we go with the out, boys. That's it.
Takes a strike here.
Golden choice there. That's it, Shay. That's the first pitch to a sit down. Here we go.
Lifting this one to short right, actually just on the edge there, and Boyum will go back to get it. So Wayzata retakes the lead though on the solo homer by Westermeyer. 1 run, a couple of base hits, and a couple left on for the Trojans. We've played 5. It's 3-2 Wayzata here on CCX Sports.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands? My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected.
Great ball game here. Wayzata is back in front now, 3-2 after the Westermeyer home run after St. Louis Park had tied it up. We go to the top of the 6th. Zach Listiak will bat, and indeed Westermeyer is back out on the mound for Wayzata, now restaking himself to the lead with that home run.
Yeah, and he's helping his cause this evening. I think, if you're St. Louis Park, you still got to go up there and be aggressive. Typically, if you're down late in the game, you're taking a strike, but you want to keep that curveball out of his back pocket.
Ooh,
so hit these
scorched
balls,
out to center. And the catch made. Boy, he got a lot on that one, but Engdahl was right there. That ball was very well hit.
Yeah, Engdahl seems to get a really good read on fly balls out there. And that one was hit really well, and it was over his head, but took a few steps back and easily corralled that one in.
Boy, I mean, it just goes into the book as a flyout, but Listiak, in my eyes, that one was nearly as well hit as Dvorak's double or the home run by Westermeyer. He really jumped on that one, but it just happened to be straightaway center and playable. Ian Sandbo has had a tough go of it so far, a couple of strikeouts, takes that one for ball 1. That one up high and away. 2-1 now to Sandbo. And that one is down. Both starting pitchers, for the most part, have been able to throw strikes when they've wanted to. We haven't had base on balls issued yet by Westermeyer, but in danger of doing so here. And this one is hit well out to left center, and it's going to bounce over the fence. A ground rule double. Engdahl couldn't get to that one in left center, and Sandbo pounding it. So it has to be a little bit of a concerning thing to see for Bobby DeWitt. The last few hitters in the last inning hit the ball very hard. The first two guys in this inning did as well.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing in St. Louis Park is just sit back on that fastball. When you see a fastball, just anticipate it, drive it, and hopefully you can find some turf out there.
Luke Boyum stepping in now for Park. Takes a breaking ball for ball one.
I don't know if we've seen a solidly hit curveball by St. Louis Park this evening, but they're definitely starting to pick up that fastball, and if they can get ahead in the count, it definitely puts them in better position to see a fastball.
That one over for a strike, and yeah, you're right. That most of the damage they've done has all been off fastballs from Westermeyer.
And when he is throwing that curveball, it's looking really damaging. I mean, St. Louis Park really is off balance whenever he throws that curveball.
Foul tip there. Now 1-2 here to Boyum. Tying run at second, one out here in the top of the sixth. Westermeyer trying to fight through it after two hard hit balls to start the inning. One for an out, one for a ground rule double. Low and away with that fastball.
That was the hardest ball we've seen him throw this evening. It looks like he reached back and put a little extra on that one and ended up going outside of the zones.
I think he's kind of been realizing that I'm catching maybe too much of the middle of the plate with some of those fastballs, and good hitters are going to eventually start hitting them hard, and that's what's happened. This one has popped up. And right near the bag, Kay is able to make the catch there for out number 2. And Jacob Stillman will be the hitter here for St. Louis Park. It was not that easy of a chance for Kay for two reasons. One, the sun. The other is he's drifting over near where the runner is coming.
Yeah, you got that runner, and the runner's trying to do the courteous thing, but you know, if he's staying inside, giving space to the first baseman, but the last minute he ducks in towards the fair territory and puts the runner in kind of an awkward position. He ends up making that catch.
Would have been interesting had that, you know, a little bit of a collision and the ball dropped, because you know, the fielder has the right away basically on a batted ball like that, but we didn't end up having to have a call made there. Rip and a miss by Stillman.
Twice in a row. Be ready here.
One from Westermeyer, and missed with that fastball.
Westermeyer definitely working for his innings here. And he had a nice stretch in the second, third, fourth, and St. Louis Park's kind of figured him out there in the fifth, and hopefully he can put another bat on the ball here for them.
Rip and a miss by Stillman, so big pitch coming up here, 2-2. Base hit probably ties it, but if Westermeyer can get him out, Wayzata get out of the inning. Breaking ball just reached out, pop-up diving try, but he couldn't get it. Kay lunging, could not quite get it.
Good hustle by the Kay there. He got a good jump on that ball and just missed it.
Yeah, it just wasn't hit high enough for him to quite get there. He saw it all the way, but you see it was kind of a check swing. Laid out, couldn't get it.
Looked good.
And it wasn't one of those phony dives where they dive late when they know they can't get it either, which you see sometimes. This one driven down the right field line, just foul. Oh boy, game of inches. This one would have been tied up if that one was about 2 feet to the left.
Yeah, good defensive hitting there. Almost turned out to be an offensive RBI double, if not more, for St. Louis Park there, but just right of that foul ball line.
And you can see no question really that it was foul, but it was close.
Whatever it takes, nobody better.
Another 2-2 coming from Westermeyer. Breaking ball up the middle. Nickel cuts it off, and he'll throw him out, and the Trojans get out of trouble here. St. Louis Park threatens but doesn't score in the 6th. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left aboard. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Wayzata leading it 3-2.
Let's go!
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Nice shot of the sunset here at Hopkins. A great ball game as we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Section 6 4A baseball title on the line. If Wayzata wins, they'd be the champion. If St. Louis Park wins, they would force a game 2 for the championship coming up on Friday back here at Hopkins. Pekarek back on the mound here. He came on in that last inning and got the last out in relief of Sorenson. Yeah, you'll be seeing the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for Wayzata.
Pekarek definitely a different style of pitcher than Sorenson, which they had out there earlier in the game. Sorenson was kind of crafty and didn't bring as much heat through a big breaking ball, slow curve ball. Hit a couple runners early in the game, gave Wayzata a chance to get some runners on base. This pitcher a little different, throws the ball harder, doesn't have as sharp or as big of a breaking ball, but I think it's a little bit sharper and quicker. So time for Wayzata to adjust here and see what they can do and put the bat in the ball.
Excuse me, Drew. Carter Tibbetts getting set to bat here. He is 0 for 2. Trying to get something going here in the bottom of the 6th. Wayzata would love to add, a run or two and make things a little bit easier on whoever's on the mound for them in the 7th, whether it be Westermeyer or whether they go to the pen.
All right, good mix, good mix.
Takes that one up high. It's 1-1. High chopper here. Throw on the run. Oh, a nice dig at first base, too, by Listiak to pull that one out. So Tibbetts is out to begin the 6th. And Adam Castle will be the batter there. It's a nice play by the shortstop, Dvorak, but he got bailed out, too, by his buddy over at first as digging that one out.
Yeah, nice easy cherry hop for Dvorak over here. Fields it right up high by the chest. Easy throw on the run. A little low scoop by the first baseman to get the first out here.
Kind of looked like Dvorak maybe kind of aimed that one, didn't really just let it go. He was throwing on the run and he was trying to just kind of guide it into his glove and didn't get all of his arm into that one, but nice pick by the first baseman to help him out there. So Castle stepping in.
Here we go.
Big rip and a miss. I think a hitter that Pekarek would really like to get out here. It's the number 9 hitter. You don't, you're going to have to face the number 1 hitter regardless, but you don't want to, put him on and then have their heart of the order coming up here either.
Yeah, you want to avoid any opportunity to put yourself in danger. Keeping him off base is a big part in that.
2-2 pitch, just low. So full count now. And missed just inside with the fastball, so Castle will work out a walk.
Nice pitch, Shay.
And Delaney Dahl will be the hitter now for the Trojans. Runner at first and 1 out.
Now batting, number 7, Delaney Dahl.
Here we go, let's go. 1 for sure here, boys.
And low and away with that one for ball 1. Long look down at the signs. Haven't really seen Wayzata run much in this tournament, it doesn't feel like, but you know, in this spot, boy, you'd like to get that guy into scoring position one way or another here.
Yeah, with this part of your order up, you're gonna probably see some swings here, and you want to put that runner in position that a single would bring it across the runner.
He is going, and this one hit well out to left field, and it's to the base of the fence. Castle being waved around, and he is going to score on a double for Delaney Dahl. Looked like they weren't quite sure whether that ball was going to stay in play or be playable or not. And so it just hits the fence. And an RBI double for Dahl makes it 4-2 now, Trojans. Boy, that one was very close to getting out. And you see just a little bit of hesitation out there and left. So Nickel will step up.
Yeah, not being familiar with this field, you're not really sure how deep it is, but
Nickel driving one out to right center field. That is caught. Runner is tagging, and Dahl will make it into third as Nickel flies out. 2 outs in the inning, and Nick Kay will be the batter for the Trojans.
Batting for Wayzata, number 10, Nicholas Kay.
Everything in front of you, John. Marking everything. Let's go, Chief. Here we go. Let's get the out, boys.
Kay has had 1 hit and 3 trips so far. Takes a strike. Still a really big, important batter. Even though they got that 1 run, you want it to be 4-2 instead of 5-2 if you're Park getting set to bat in the 7th. And a nice breaking ball there, and it's quickly 0-2. Up high with that one, 1-2.
yeah, like you were saying, Jade, Wayzata, if you're Wayzata, you're doing anything you can to get that 5th run across the plate here. Pass ball, 3rd ball, strike in the dirt, you got to be running.
Pounding it to short. Borak will flip across and gets the out. So Wayzata done in the 6th. They do add an insurance run though. 1 run on 1 base hit and 1 left on. We go to inning number 7. Wayzata 4, St. Louis Park 2.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Pitch taken for a ball here. John Meyer, the number 9 hitter in the Park order, leading off the 7th. They trail it by 2, and Westermeyer is back out there to begin inning number 7. A swing and a miss there by Meyer. 1-1.
Yeah, giving him a chance to complete this game. He's had a really solid outing on the mound, and of course had that big hit last inning to put Wayzata up.
And Westermeyer flags it down. He had trouble with one of those earlier, although this one was maybe a little bit easier chance. He gets the out at first base. 1 gone, and now Johnny Sorenson, who's been a tough out today. 2 singles and 3 trips, will step up here for the Orioles.
Nice play by Westerman there to get that first out. 1 out at a time, and if you're St. Louis Park, you want to be aggressive. You still want to be aggressive up there at the plate. Don't give Westermeyer a chance to fall back in that breaking ball, which has been so effective this evening.
Starts him with the breaking ball for a strike, and that's a key too, is that he, not always, but a lot of times has been able to throw it for called strikes when they don't swing too. Another breaking ball misses, and I can kind of see why you wouldn't want to groove a fastball to Sorenson. He's hit a couple of them pretty hard to left field.
Yeah, he's been putting the bat on the ball pretty solidly, and that's what you want from your leadoff hitter.
Lifting this one out to left field. It's going to be playable and caught. Castle squeezes it for out number 2. So it'll leave it up to Riley Dvorak, who had the biggest blow of the game so far for Park as he doubled in a pair back in the 5th.
Number 20, shortstop Riley Dvorak.
Dvorak 2 for 3. Takes the first one for a ball. Kind of a relief, I'm sure, for Westermeyer to be facing him with nobody on base in this spot. Even if he, got a really solid swing on one, you still would have the lead.
Got a little room to play with here.
Fouls it away.
Saw Westermeyer go to that breaking ball to start this batter off, and he was able to locate it close enough that kept the batter off balance and came back with the fastball there and fouled it off.
Curveball over for strike 2. Orioles down to their final strike. 1-2 from Westermeyer, and this one is popped to short left, and it is going to fall in for a hit. Dvorak keeps things alive for St. Louis Park. Didn't get a lot of it, but he got enough, and it's a 2-out single.
Yeah, not the hardest hit ball of the evening, but you know what? If it was hit any harder, it probably would have been just an easy fly ball for the left fielder to get the third out and wrap this game up. But fortunately, took a little bit off of it, bounced in front of the left fielder, and now St. Louis Park's got the tying run at the plate.
Here's Pekarek. Struck out his first 2 times, but then singled last time. And takes a first pitch fastball over for a strike. That one's outside, 1-1.
The runner down at first. It's important for him to get a decent secondary lead because you don't want Wayzata to have that option of getting the force out at second. You want to have them force that out at first base. So you definitely want to make sure you get off that first base on a secondary lead.
Pekarek popping it foul and out of play. And again, the Orioles down to possibly their final strike here. 1-2 count. And this one is hit well out to center field. Engdahl drifting back, makes the catch, and Wayzata is the Section 6 champions. Hard hit ball by Pekarek, but it stays in the park, and Westermeyer able to finish the complete game. This is a heck of a ball game here, Drew. You like a section championship type game to come down to a good game like this, and it really was.
Yeah, fun game. A lot of well-hit balls, great pitching, solid defense throughout most of the game. Good outing by all 3 pitchers that were on the mound this evening. And Westermeyer, he earned it this evening, and coming to the plate, hit that home run, dominating with that curveball. And that last out was hit very well, but that center fielder has good range and was able to camp under it and get that third out and wrap up the section title for Wayzata.
So Wayzata 3 times in a row will be headed to state as they claim the Section 6 championship behind Westermeyer's complete game and go-ahead home run. Congratulations to St. Louis Park. Nice season for the Orioles. They played a heck of a game earlier today to beat Hopkins. They played a heck of a game in this one as well, and they're definitely trending in the right direction too.
Yeah, good program. They got some youth in their program too, and good senior, good athletic career wrapping up for the senior class at St. Louis Park. But things to look forward to for St. Louis Park baseball. But right now, it's Wayzata's time to shine, and wishing them good luck in the state tournament.
Well, we certainly hope you've enjoyed this one here today as Wayzata will return to the state tournament. They claim the Section 6 4A championship. For Drew Keogh and all of our CCX Sports crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. So long from Hopkins High School.
Bob Bison will make the presentation of medals